Alright, hey guys, Looks99 here, coming at you with another review today. I'm bringing you my Impact Live review for August 27, 2014. And the commentators were, as usual, Taz and Mike Tenay. And the city was in New York, the Manhattan Center, which was an awesome crowd, as usual. So we had this awesome opening segment to open up the show. Then we had Angle announce the matches for tonight's show. MVP comes down and cuts a promo. Tommy Dreamer then comes down and cuts a promo on all members of the MVP stable. And then they start to take out Dreamer. Angle then announces a New York City street fight between Lashley and Tommy Dreamer tonight, actually coming up next. So it was a good segment, and it served its purpose. So it got the two thumbs up for me. So then we had Lashley versus Dreamer in a New York City street fight. Lashley attacks Dreamer from behind to start off the match. And then as we come back from the commercial break, we had Dreamer start using weapons like crazy. He used like the cookie pan sheet and the kendo stick and stuff like that to start taking advantage. And then Lashley catches him for a belly-to-belly suplex right on the edge of the ramp. Looked like a pretty hard fall for Dreamer there. Really cool spot. And then Lashley basically starts to dominate. Dreamer bites Lashley to get out of a bear hug. Lashley hits a clothesline, hits a huge suplex. Lashley eventually spears King as Dreamer gets out of the way. Dreamer starts using the trash can, props it up in the corner, STO into the trash can, hits the Dreamer driver or a DDT for 2. Lashley catches Dreamer with a clothesline off the second rope, spear for the 1, 2, 3. It was a good match to make Lashley look even more powerful than he already is. It had some cool spots to it, and I personally enjoyed it. So, it was a solid match. So then we had Madison Rayne cut a promo backstage, and then Shaw and Gunner were in this hotel room, which was, I guess we'll get onto that later. So then we had Madison Rayne versus Taryn Terrell. This was a #1 contenders match for next week for the Knockouts title. We had a couple of roll-ups at the start, a nice technical exchange. Taryn eventually hits a monkey flip to take Madison to the outside, and then Madison dodges a high cross body off the apron, which was a pretty cool spot, and Taryn took a pretty hard fall there. And that eventually got Madison a count for 2. She hits a nice drop kick for 2. Taryn eventually hits 3 clotheslines. Madison hits a Northern Lights suplex for 2. Excuse me. Taryn hits a suplex and a back elbow combo. Madison eventually comes back with this pretty sweet kick that almost knocked Taryn out. Taryn clothesline off the top, hits 2 more clotheslines, a swinging neck breaker for 2. Taryn eventually hits a high cross body for 2. Madison barely got out of that one. So then Madison tried to put her feet on the ropes to take advantage. She got distracted by the ref, and Taryn hits like this RKO/cutter move for the win. Good match. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for Gail versus Taryn next week. Should be pretty awesome. So then we had Rude and EY with Kurt Angle. Angle makes the cameras turn off, and then as we come back from commercial break, we saw Gunner and Samuel Shaw again, where like Shaw put on this the army jacket. I'm not sure if it related to what was coming up next, but it was just kind of a weird segment. It didn't really seem like it had a purpose to it, but it was just weird to me. So then we had the X Division 6-man tag match. You had the team of Low Key, Crazy Steve, and Tigre Uno versus DJZ, Manic, and Homicide. It was kind of random to just see these teams paired up against each other for no reason, but it's the X Division, it doesn't really matter, and it was going to be an awesome match no matter what. So Manic hits a nice dropkick right to Low Key as he's doing his entrance. That was a cool spot to start us off. Then DJZ and Tigre Uno have this awesome exchange. We then see Tigre Uno take out Manic. And then Team DJZ takes control and starts to dominate Tigre Uno for a little bit. Tigre Uno eventually gets out of it with a Hurricane Rana to DJZ into Homicide, so that was a pretty cool counter there. And he eventually makes the tag to Low Key. Low Key starts to dominate Manic with his usual offensive maneuvers. Just really cool. And then eventually Manic starts to come back. He goes for like the double gutbuster move, and Low Key counters it in mid-air into a double foot stomp right on Manic's face. I'm not gonna lie, that kind of made me mark out, and it was just such a crazy counter. Probably one of the coolest spots I've seen in wrestling in a while. And then let's see where I'm at here. Low-Key then goes for his finisher. Homicide takes him out with a clothesline. Crazy Steve eventually takes Homicide out with this high cross body. Tigre Uno then takes out DJZ to the outside, and then he goes to run out, and Manic does a spider thing to stop him. So then Tigre Uno just does the flip anyways through the middle rope to take out DJZ as Manic gets out of the way. That was a really cool spot again. Manic eventually gets caught by Low Key with a kick out of nowhere as Manic goes to dive to the outside, and Low Key hits his finisher for the win. Really good match from the X Division. Everyone had their moments to shine. Had some really cool spots and just very fast-paced action that was very enjoyable to watch. So awesome match here. Then we saw Angle says that he's going to make his decision next about the #1 contender. We had Rhino cut a promo backstage. Not too bad of a promo, actually. And then we saw Rude and EY come down saying they're going to have a match next week. They're going to put it all on the line for the #1 contendership. Rude and EY just cut some awesome promos. This was just so cool. It got me really hyped for their match next week, and it made their match actually feel important, and it made it feel like it mattered for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, which is actually building up to become this legitimate title right now, and I like the way they're kind of building it up. And then the Bromans backstage, kind of random, but it was pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed it. And then up next we had EC3 versus Rhino. They go right for each other. You can just see the animosity. You can cut it with a knife, as Monsoon used to say. Rhino starts to dominate EC3. Hits a clothesline for 2. EC3 dominates Rhino. Starts to come back. Samoan drops. Spud stops the gore. EC3 low blow from behind. Ref didn't get to see it for 2. Rhino eventually hits a clothesline. Belly to belly suplex again. Spud stops the gore. EC3 eventually gets disqualified with some vicious chair shots. Spud eventually makes him stop. Match was just okay. It was solid for what it was. I'm assuming we're gonna see another match between these two, so I don't think it really matters that much. However, the storyline was very intriguing, though, because EC3 is revealing this new aggressive side, but it actually makes sense after going through war with Team 3D and stuff like that. So then we had James Storm come out, and then we had the new Sonata versus Austin Aries. I actually like this new Sonata copying the Great Muta. I think it's going to be... I'm assuming it's going to be a feud into Bound for Glory, and, I think that's the right way to take it. Let's see what we have here. I didn't really copy down too many notes from this match just because it was so fast-paced and really hard to follow. We had an awesome exchange at the start, just very technical, a couple of arm drags from Aries. Aries eventually locks in Last Chancery. Sonata gets to the ropes. Sonata hits a couple of huge chops. We had more back and forth action. Sonata dominated for a bit. Eventually Aries starts to come back. It's an awesome suicide dive to the outside. Eventually Sonata picks up the win by using the Great Muta Mist, and then hits the James Storm super kick. A good new debut for Sonata, and I like how James Storm is acting as his manager. I think that's a fitting role for him, and it was a strong win against Aries, and just a good match overall. So then we had Melendez review, I believe that's how you pronounce it. If it's not, I'm very sorry. But what a very, very special moment this was. I just have huge respect for any veterans or current men and women who are serving to protect our country. So I had massive respect, not only for Sergeant Chris Mandela's, but also for Anderson and TNA and Team 3D to actually help this guy's dream come true after he served the country. I just thought it was a really special moment. Like I said, I just have huge respect for all of the men inside the ring and of all the veterans and current men and women who are serving to protect our country. Massive respect. Really can't be expressed through words. And just truly one of the most, I wouldn't say one of the most, but truly a phenomenal and very touching moment in professional wrestling. I mean, there's it's almost of how they paid tribute to Connor the Crusher from Pittsburgh. I was there, and he got a standing ovation. It's just truly a great moment to be a part of as a pro wrestling fan, and to see these great moments unfold. So very solid segment there. I really enjoyed that. Team 3D versus Hardys versus the Wolves. I was so excited at this. It was the first of their series matchups, and I thought it was going to be fantastic going into it. I've been waiting for this all week. Wolves start to work on the arm right at the start, and Bully starts he hits two big slams, and we had a nice exchange from Richards and Bully. Team 3D went for their signature headbutt maneuver. Wolves take them out, which was a pretty cool spot with a bunch of kicks and stuff like that. Hardys eventually take out the Wolves with poetry in motion. They go for Davey, and Davey bounces off the mat for a clothesline counter. That was pretty cool. Davey then goes for a handspring back elbow into a back suplex neckbreaker from Team 3D. Then Team 3D and the Hardys start to dominate Davey for a little bit. Eventually, Edwards makes the save, and then chaos ensues. The Wolves hit a double suicide dive to the to Team 3D, and then Hardys hit the poetry in motion to the outside, and then a moonsault from Matt to the outside for 2, which was just, what an epic encounter there. That was a really cool spot. And then we saw, where am I at here? Wolves then do this epic double team maneuver to Matt. Jeff sees it at 2. Devon then gets caught by this, the catapult and double kick into the double foot stomp. Bully eventually makes a save then. Then chaos ensues yet again. Canyon follow the action. Swanton bomb from Jeff Hardy gets caught into a super kick, and then Team 3D hits their finisher for the win. Just an amazing match, and to think that was only the first match of their series is just an incredible thought, because they can only get better from here. Really solid match. I personally enjoyed it, and I have to give it match of the night for tonight's show. Really enjoyed that main event. Really cool match. So overall show, basically another A+ show for TNA. They're just killing it. Their product is just above solid every single week. Every match served its purpose and was good, and there really wasn't anything extremely boring and brought down the show. It was just a solid 2 hours of wrestling and storyline building, and you really can't get better than that. And TNA, like I said, they're on fire right now, and I just love the show in general. TNA needs to keep it up, because they are on fire, and I'm loving their product. And that's going to be all for my review. Please check out all my others, and I guess I'll see you guys next video. Bye.